Next up, our keynote speaker is Alex Van Hulle. He's the Chief Technical Officer of Redlight Finance. Redlight Finance is a multi-part project within the DeFi arena, bringing passive income with the power of NFTs and nodes to investors. So can I please have on stage Mr. Alex Van Hulle, and he'll be talking about a few things: Redlight Finance, passive rewards, Launchpad, blockchain.
I also want to give a shout out to our CEO, Mr. Leo. He's going to come up on here and do the first 2 slides, so come on, Leo.
Yo. Hey guys, how you going? There it is. Awesome, there we go. So, we're Redlife Finance. Thanks for having us, guys. So this is our team. So Alex, our CTO, myself, Leo, the CEO. We've got Rory over in the booth, who's our COO, and we've also got Bailey, who's our CMO, so our Chief Marketing Officer. So you guys are probably wondering what Redlife Finance is. A lot of people have been asking this when they come out to the booth. Basically, we're a node project. So a node farm, if you guys have had a strong block or even Thor or anything like that, that's basically what we are, but a little bit different. So what it is we are trying to be the most sustainable node farm to generate passive income, and that's through the power of NFTs.
Awesome. So super simple, guys. Nodes are a collection of data points that reward their users for the generation and the use of those nodes. On a technical standpoint, nodes confirm information on blockchain. If you're familiar with AVAX and Ethereum 2.0, those are both proof-of-stake concepts, right? AVAX actually utilizes validator nodes to confirm that information instead of using heavy, bogged-down machinery like Bitcoin miners or Ethereum miners, right? So for the proof of concept here, we came out with a project on Avalanche where we reward our users with passive income stream by utilizing our token to purchase a node. Each node generates 1 token every 24 hours, can be claimed any minute and any day, and you can sell that token and get some money and have a passive income stream. Fairly simple. Now, how do we integrate other technologies into this? Well, NFTs are very important for that. Because of NFT simplicity, their migration ability, and the technology of NFTs and its simplicity, it allows us to add technologies to that in order to migrate, in order to upgrade, and in order to incorporate these technologies into them. So integrated within a node smart contract, it allows flexibility and sustainability through their reward generation. A little bit about our tokenomics. We started with a 2 million total supply. It got split up where 50% of it went to the reward pool. This reward pool is solely based to feed the nodes that are in our system. Since launch, our node pool actually grew to about 1.5 million tokens, right? That's a significant portion of our supply. Through our tokenomics aspect in our tax system, it actually grew past the 50%, which is what we wanted, because we want to be around for a really long time while we can get our utilities going. So currently, what we've completed in our roadmap is we've launched the innovative tokenomics system on the Avalanche blockchain. Right? AVAX is a super awesome blockchain. It's extremely fast. It allows fast technologies to be launched on them, and in order to incorporate this technology that we're integrating, we want it to be on this blockchain such as that. We've had some UI and UX updates, and of course compounding with rewards and wallet balance, so that way you can continuously compound your rewards without having to pay any taxes. Fairly simple. We came out with our own swap, and we came out with our own trust, which is a staking platform that can reward its users through the power of our technology. We want to make sure that everything is in-house and stays in-house. How do we do that in the future? Well, that's when we come out with some of these things, and one of my favorite things on here is the play-to-earn multiplayer game. A lot of people are coming out with their own game, but we decided to come up with a different approach. We wanted you to be able to interact with our complete system, our swap, our node creation system, and our entire DApp, and encapsulate our DApp into a game. basically speaking, you're going to be in a city, in a 2D multiplayer game. If you've ever played Pokemon, you would know the type of artwork that I'm talking about. And if you ever played The Sims, that's exactly how our game will work. You'll enter your own mansion, and you get to customize and play with that mansion with the NFTs that you're collecting from what's upcoming. It's called Redlight Mysteries. Right? So you'll be able to collect these NFTs, you'll be able to place them inside your own mansion, you'll be able to integrate with that, and play arcade games in order to earn an income. And my absolute favorite part of our roadmap is the fact that we're coming out with our own blockchain, and it's going to be an innovative blockchain in the sense where it's going to integrate a proof-of-stake concept through gasless functions. We will have a completely gasless and feeless blockchain that will allow our users and our node validators to get rewarded through a system that I can't really talk about, otherwise he'll kill me. So if you want more information about our blockchain and how we're integrating passive income and passive reward streams, definitely visit us at booth number 51. I don't want to take too much of you guys' time because I know everybody here is super busy and there's a lot of awesome projects that want to speak. So if you want more information, please head over to booth 51, Redlight Finance, and we'd love to talk to you guys.
Yeah, so Alex obviously gone through the roadmap, basic understanding of the technology. So we talked about NFTs. So I don't know if any of you guys know AVAX or been exposed to the Avalanche network, but Avalanche network, they actually use NFT trade. We're verified on there. We're currently the most, highest sales and highest volume NFT. We've only got 200 pieces on there, and you might ask why there's only 200, because those NFTs, they basically are a 25% boost to our node passive income reward system. And the only reason why we did 200, we wanted them to be limited. So we're at the moment, I think about 14,000 holders right now. So we've got about 14,000 holders, and only 200 of them actually own one of these. So
yep. And through those 200 NFTs, that total sales volume is actually a little bit outdated. We're closer to 15,000 AVAX, which is over $1 million in total sales volume off of 200 NFTs. These NFTs are very interesting because they give you a 25% increase on your total node production and rewards. So if you have 100 nodes, in theory, you'd get 100 playmates per day, which is our token name. You get 100 tokens a day. With this NFT, you actually get 125 a day full production on your entire wallet, which means you're getting a 25% increase on your passive income.
Yeah, so you might be wondering why we've got another project listed there. So these are actually one of our first tier partners, really close. It's another node farm. It's basically on the Phantom protocol, Phantom chain, Node Cone Financial. Just want to shout out to Moon. He's their main dev over there as well.
We promised him to do that.
He told us he couldn't come to Dubai, but he wanted to shout him out. You might wonder why we've got that here. So we talked about the NFTs here. We're actually doing something that hasn't been done before. We're actually doing a combination NFT. So between our project and Cone Financial, basically we're doing a booster NFT. So it'll actually boost the passive rewards on not only our project, but also on Cone Financials. And what that means is, as long as you hold the NFT in your wallet, it will actually boost both the projects. So you can actually get...
But on two different blockchains.
Exactly.
One being Avalanche, which is us, and Cone being on Phantom. So this NFT that'll be a one-of-one NFT will work on a multitude of blockchains, and in the future, we will add to this NFT with other artworks that will work with other partners. So it'll be a continuous adaptation and a bridge to other platforms.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's not just limited to the NFTs between our two projects. We talked about the play to earn game, or Alex did anyway. So the metaverse, they're actually building one themselves, and we're actually going to do something which I don't think it's been done before, can't remember. But it's really exciting for both projects. We're actually going to build a bridge between the two metaverse. So you can basically say, if you were in the Cone Hive metaverse, you can actually walk to the Redlight Finance building or the Redlight Node District building, and you would get ported into our actual metaverse. So it'd be a cross bridge between the two.
Through a seamless integration in a UI concept. Now what's fantastic about Cone is they're actually building a 3D style metaverse. Well, if you have a web application in 3D, you might think that's a really bogged down enterprise. The way they're doing it is fantastic, and the bridge over to ours will be super seamless. And like I said, like Leo said, I think it's never been done before. So
yeah, it's really exciting. So pretty sure that's the end of the presentation. But I'd like to thank all you guys who came here, sat down. Not too much to say now. We'll let go to the next person. But yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks for having us. We're at booth 51 if you want to know more. There's plenty to go around.
Thank you guys so much.
And Leo DeKoikoi from Redlife Finance. Next up, we've got Frank Almankawa, I hope I said that right, yes, CTO of Rain. So Rain is the first licensed crypto asset service provider in the Middle East and serves as a safe space to buy, sell, and store approved cryptocurrencies. So today, Frank is going to be talking about how to build a world-class technology team. Can I please have on stage Mr. Frank Almankawa?
Thank you very much, and hello everyone. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be with you today to share some insights about how we built our technology team at Rain. So, at Rain, our mission is to build a world-class cryptocurrency exchange to serve the MENA, Turkey, Pakistan, and North African region, and one that will last for decades. We recently launched what we codenamed Rain 2.0, which is the second generation of our mobile app and website. You can check it out here. What's special about this is it took quite a lot of effort from a very talented group of people, technologists, product managers, UI, web designers, you name it, to actually bring this to life. And today what I want to share with you is a sneak peek of how this sort of great product gets built and the environment in which the professionals who do it work in. Right, so a little bit about me. I'm originally from Ghana. Lived in the UAE for 4 years. Before then, I lived in the UK for 20 years. My background, first decade, I worked in investment banking, and the second decade is when I moved into leadership. If you want to reach out to me, those are my social media handles. So let's start by defining what a high-performing team is. So a high-performing team is one that has a clear strategy and clarity of purpose. Because if the team doesn't know why they exist, then that becomes a problem. The second thing, and some of these are quite obvious, and I'm sure you all know this, but I just need to state it just to set the scene, is clear roles and responsibilities. Who's doing what, who's responsible for what, how do you measure outcomes, what does success look like? The third, also very important, is to create an environment where there is open and honest communication, because that's how you build trust. A high-performing team, doesn't matter what team it is, football team, soccer team, is based on rapid response and results to their stakeholders. But a high-performing team cannot exist without great leadership. But if you put all of this together, it doesn't really have any significance unless that high-performing team actually ends up with measurable outcomes. So, if anybody asks you, what is a high-performing team? You can tell them this is what it looks like. And I'm sure each and every one of you is either part of a high-performing team, has worked with one, or knows about one. Okay? So that's just to set the scene. The first topic that I want to talk about is safety. And when I say safety, what comes to mind? Does anybody want to share what comes to mind when I say safety? Anybody want to share with me? First thing that came to your mind? Yes? Security, fantastic. Okay, that's a good one. So, when I say safety, I'm talking about safety at work. What happens when you get an email at 9:37 p.m. from your manager with the subject, "Call me now"? What's the first thing that goes through your mind? Shaking, right? You're not really sure, am I going to get fired? Is the P45 coming? Believe it or not, what happens in your human body is exactly the same thing that happens when there's a lion on the loose. And it feels weird, doesn't it? I mean, it's only an email. I mean, the email, lion, very different. But the human reaction to that perceived lack of safety is the same. Let's talk a little bit about the biology of fear. So that's the human brain. Okay? At the base of the human brain is a small cluster of cells called the amygdala. The amygdala is responsible for keeping us safe. Wired into our body is a reaction called an amygdala hijack. Every time your brain perceives an unsafe situation, your amygdala kicks in. Usually, the other part of your brain, the frontal lobes, will fight the amygdala to say, there's a rational way of dealing with this threat. But sometimes they fail, so the amygdala takes over. And what happens is, when the amygdala kicks in, all your creative tendencies shut down. You go into what we call a fight or flight mode, okay? And when you're in fight or flight mode, all you're thinking about is survival. Exactly what happens when the lion is on the loose, right? Nothing else matters. You just need to stay alive, okay? So fear is equal to stress, and this is what happens in your body, right? Your endocrine system starts to secrete adrenaline. We all know what adrenaline is. Cortisol, which is a stress hormone, also starts to get secreted in small amounts. Adrenaline is lots, cortisol is in small amounts. And then norepinephrine is also a chemical in the brain that creates alertness. Okay? So the combination of these three causes the feeling of stress. Right? Stress is a good thing, it's not a bad thing. When it becomes a problem is when you're soaking in these chemicals for long periods of time. Unfortunately, in the workplace, if it's full of stress, it's long-lived, right? Whereas when the lion turns up and you climb the tree, you're safe, right? So that's short-lived. So that's the difference, right? So fear causes stress, and this is the biology of stress. These hormones are good hormones, but the adrenaline increases your heart rate. If that happens for long periods of time, that isn't good for your health. Cortisol, like I said, is a stress hormone. It creates that alertness and that readiness to act. That's okay, unless you're exposed to it for long periods of time. So these is what's happening in your body when you get that email or the lion is on the loose. Okay? Fantastic. But let's talk about fear at work. When we talk about fear, we're talking about psychological fear, right? Because it's not physical. No matter what environment you work in, nobody's going to pick up a cane and lash you, right? I hope not. It's psychological, right? And what does psychological fear cause, right? You are scared of making mistakes. It ends up in a blame game. Your teammates don't quite work well together. And group dynamic takes effect, and the cycle continues, right? And when you work in an environment like this, all those chemicals on the previous slide and the feeling the lions on the loose is exactly how you're feeling. And I'm sure you've all been through this sometime in your career. The flip side is psychological safety. And that's actually the essence of when I put the safety slide up. When you work in a psychological safe environment, what happens is that you're comfortable to admit making mistakes. And my team members have come to me many times where they've made mistakes, and I'm thinking, wow, okay, that's interesting. And then they're not just telling me they made the mistake, they're actually telling me how they fixed it. So they're telling me after the fact, right? So they're not hiding it, they're actually coming and saying, hey, we did this wrong, and this is how we fixed it. That's psychological safety. But the most important thing is learning from those mistakes, because they're not repeating them. They have the space and the psychological safety to learn. everyone openly shares ideas, because there's nothing like a stupid idea. Every idea is a good idea. We can't obviously implement all the good ideas, so we pick the most important ones and we park the rest for later. What that leads is better innovation and decision making, and the cycle continues. The rub: these two states cannot coexist in the workplace. You either have what's on the left-hand side or what's on the right-hand side, or you're in the transition from left to right. You can't have both. So that's something that I just want to stress before I carry on. So at Rain, we pride ourselves in building a psychologically safe environment where every one of our colleagues brings their best to work. We work in a rapidly evolving environment and an ecosystem, so it's important that we harness that talent and all of it, and some. So, how do you provide psychological safety, I hear you ask? There's many frameworks out there, there's many schools of thought, none of my own, I've learned these, and I've practiced, failed, succeeded at some, but I found a framework that I have grown to like very well, and there's 4 bits to it. I'll just, for the sake of time, I'll just show all 4 of them. Right, so learner safety, the feeling that it's safe to make mistakes and learn. Challenger safety is when you think something is wrong, feeling safe to actually challenge. Oh, sorry, let's go back. Collaborator safety is feeling safe to have a chat amongst your colleagues and share ideas. And inclusion safety, feeling part of the team. These 4 are different types of psychological safety that must coexist to make this real. Let's talk a bit about motivation. To me, motivation is the journey from I can't do it till I can, or I've done it and I'm happy about it. Right? It's quite simple. But behind the scenes in your biological system, it's quite interesting what's happening. How many of you used to play Candy Crush? Candy Crush, yes? When you have that sugar rush, right? What's happening when you have that sugar rush is you're having what we call a dopamine high. Dopamine is that chemical that makes you feel good, right? I love using checklists. When you check that item on the checklist, woo, that's dopamine, right? Unfortunately, it's the same chemical you get when you drink too much coffee or you have a bit of alcohol or things that you shouldn't really be doing, right? Same high. So it's not a safe hormone, but in small doses, it makes you motivated because you've achieved something. Endorphins are the hormones that you secrete after you have a workout at the gym. That feel good after workout at the gym is your body's own painkiller, right? So these hormones help you to deal with the pain of a workout and makes you feel good. So this is what happens when you're motivated. But motivation has 3 components. Purpose. Purpose is why. Why are we doing what we're doing? It's important to ensure that your teams understand their purpose. Encourage questions. But knowing why we're here is not good enough. You have to build mastery. You have to create an environment where people can learn. People can share their knowledge. People can make mistakes and learn from them. But the most important is you have to create an environment where you can give autonomy. Like the young, lovely looking baby on the screen, right? Those first steps are quite exhilarating. The father probably held on until they felt safe enough for them to be let loose. You have to provide that autonomy so that your teams can go out there and explore, make mistakes, bump their kneecaps, and learn. But most importantly, you must show appreciation at the end. Super important, right? Because you can do all of these things, but if you don't show appreciation, then that dopamine effect doesn't kick in. Leadership is an interesting topic. I'll let you take this in, because I'm going to ask you a question at the end of it. 3, 2, 1. So what is leadership? Anybody? So leadership, by definition, is the act of leading a group of people or an organization. And there's different styles. Whereas management is a process of controlling things or people. Very different. We confuse them all the time, but they're very different. There's two main types of leadership. I'll just quickly go through these. One leadership thought is servant leadership, which I personally enjoy working in and representing, and it gives you the things on the right. Talk about psychological safety. So servant leadership gives you psychological safety. The other type is management, and if not done properly, ends up with the psychologically unsafe environments that we talked about. Leaders are here to build teams, and with teamwork comes a secretion of the love hormone, oxytocin. When teams work together and win together, there's lots of oxytocin, right? High fives, hugs, that type of thing. It secretes this hormone. But when teams succeed together, which I call the dream work, you also secrete a hormone called serotonin. That's the happy hormone. So to summarize, the journey to high performance starts with safety. It is important to create a psychological safe environment so your teams can thrive and bring their best. Then, have a clear purpose, know the why, ensure that there's a path to mastery for every member of the team. Everybody's at a different level. Ensure that there's a path to mastery, there's an opportunity to learn and to share. Then give autonomy. You must do it in this order as well, because if you give autonomy before mastery, you get road rage and road crashes, car crashes. But most importantly, learn to appreciate your team when they actually do a great job. Thank you very much for listening.